Wings of the Eagle exists to unify and help everyone through the three great controversies of our time: the end-time scriptures, Israel, and the unseen realm. Whatever UFOs or UAPs are, and whoever is behind them, is somehow a part of this unseen world. So we are committed to learning and educating as many as possible about what is really happening. The only way we can do this is together. Please give whatever you can now at wingsoftheeagle.com/donate.
You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains. Then you will be handed over to be persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of me.
Hey everybody, this is Unsealed, the official podcast of Wings of the Eagle. I'm Christopher. You are whoever you are, and wherever you are, I welcome you regardless. Please, I ask before we begin, if you would like and share this podcast wherever you're watching it right now, whether it be X, which is the raddest platform right now, or YouTube, which is always fun, and even Facebook, because why not? Because there's folks there. That's why. People, souls, brains. So let's get this as far as we can, please. That's some easy and quick you can do right now. So thank you in advance. Maybe you're just listening on the regular old audio version of Spotify or Apple Podcasts and whatnot. Great. We love you and welcome you as well. You can share that too, by the way. Just let folks know that it exists and that folks are talking about different things from different angles, and that's what we hope to do here. Thank you, Madam Rex. Thank you for sharing and packing for vacay. Have an awesome time, dude. My dude. Yeah, UAP Council. I've got the shirt rocking today because that's kind of where I'm always at in some form or another, which is I'm a follower of Jesus. I'm a Christian. So this UAP UFO issue is real. There's something to it, and we're definitely being lied to about it as a society, as a country, and as a church of Jesus. We need to get together and talk about this. That's what the council wording is about. Go to uapcouncil.com and fill out the form, especially if you are a church leader. Okay, if you're a pastor or an elder or some denominational representative, bishop, anything in that. I don't care what denomination, by the way. Roman Catholic, Greek Orthodox, Presbyterians, non-denominational. As long as you're a Christian, that's all we care about. So anyway, go fill that out and let's see if we can get together and start talking about it, because things are going to change very fast. And the church is completely ignorant, unprepared, basically, myself included. So we've got to talk about it, right? Come, let us reason together. That's what the Lord told Isaiah. And he's got a lot more planned and in store in that unseen world that we have no way of understanding right now. We're so arrogant. We think we know all this stuff. And if it runs into, this is not just Christians, it's just people in general. If anything comes up against your worldview, you automatically will dismiss it. It's human nature. So anyway, that's what I'm concerned about as a Christian person. But anyway, right. So, by the way, we are brought to you by yourself. Please help us out at patreon.com/Wings of the Eagle. Support there for some things, including many. We're almost, our partner and I have recorded several, 8 episodes, or just long form educational videos, basically, about this UFO topic and what you should know. Ground level education, not sensationalism, not anything other than getting everyone on the same page. We're trying to. Anyway, that's one of the things at the Patreon. And if you just want to help out because you think this is worthwhile and this Wings of the Eagle is worth supporting, please go to wingsoftheeagle.com/donate. Thank you. Okay. Right. So Elizondo, Citizens for Disclosure, November 13th. So we're in the middle of a few weeks here. It's very busy for yours truly, and for anyone who cares about this topic. And again, if you're new here, or maybe you haven't seen Unsealed in like a year and a half, then you may see there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Basically, there's a content like crazy, and it's always something new or some other information or revelation or thing to help get involved with, or things I think we should know about. So it's a great. You're in the river now. You know what I mean? So anyway, most of the podcasts here have been about this topic since last July, and that's a good thing. May disagree with that, but I don't. So the last couple of weeks have been busy. We had October 20th, which was only a week and a half ago. It's, by the way, what day is today? It's Halloween, or it's Reformation Day, and stuff like that. Whatever. Let's just say there's good and bad to both of those traditions and holidays, or recognition of those things. But anyway, let's keep it positive. So it's only about a week and a half ago that we had this Global Disclosure Day that we, Wings of the Eagle, simulcasted, using the old term. I don't know how else to put it. So we had 2 hours of content before the Global Disclosure Day kicked off last Sunday. Please go watch it. There are 3 or 4 different episodes of this Unsealed, but in a shorter, more compacted way about specific topics that are unfolding right now that we need to learn about, I think. So anyway, that we did that, and then we piggybacked on the Disclosure Day itself, which was by NPI, New Paradigm Institute, and CFD, which is what I want to talk about today in a minute, Citizens for Disclosure. Anyway, that just happened a week and a half ago. My birthday was 2 days after that. Big deal, 49. You should have seen an email and some posts that went out on that day, because again, this thing called Wings of the Eagle will go away if folks don't support it. And thank God some people did answer the call. We need more, but some did. So thank you, all of you so very much, those of you who did. And that was last Tuesday, right? This past Monday, I saw Lou Elizondo in Philadelphia. He kicked off. That happened to be the first stop on this speaking tour. Basically, it's not really a speaking tour. It was a presentation, closed door. In other words, you need to buy a ticket and see this presentation. And there was some back and forth with Q&A time, and you can, if you wanted to hang out later, he would hang out in this giant line, and if you had a book, or if you just wanted to ask him something, you could do that. It was nice in that way. Good morning, Bond Servant says. Good morning. Well, I guess for you it still is, so that's fair. 12 p.m. on the East Coast right now, but not everyone lives here. So good morning. All right. So that was Monday, and I'll tell you about that in a second. And then, of course, looking forward to November 13th, which is only less than 2 weeks away now. There is a major event happening, historical potentially. I think it will be hearing on this UFO issue in the House of Representatives. As a dual committee sponsoring the hearings, and there will be several. I don't know how many. I don't want to say panelists, or whistleblower types, okay, people that are going to be speaking for the first time publicly and some groundbreaking, maybe who knows how devastating the information will be that comes out, but it seems like it'll be substantial, and I will be there. I'm gonna go to DC in the morning. I'll be there around 8 a.m. or 8:30, and probably won't get into the hearing because apparently you have to line up at 5 in the morning just to have a chance to get in the room, which I'm not going to do that. I don't live there, so that's a little much. But we'll see what happens. All right, there's always a way, I suppose. So I want to check another channel I have potentially open and see what can happen there. But anyway, I'll be in the outside, walking around the nation's capital, and of course, what happens between now and then is an election that I will do a separate episode about, not an unsealed one, but I'm just going to go ahead and live stream, whether it be today or tomorrow. Give my thoughts on that. Anyways, so that's all happening. Okay, and this past 10 days and the next 2 weeks will be extremely eventful in my country, and for this topic. So it's exciting times. Okay, so let's tell you a little bit about Lou Elizondo. Again, it was more of a presentation. If you read his book and if you watched his interviews, you really didn't. It's not a whole lot of new information, to be honest with you. But for people like my wife who were there, it was all new information. So it serves a purpose if we're reaching new people. So I'm not sure if that's the goal or not, but, and of course, Lou has always had his detractors and fans, I guess. I mean, he gives off, I just try to be very analytical about folks who are coming out on this and giving their opinions and views, and what they say is factual and what's real and so forth. Lou has a way about him. Okay. He what I can say in his favor for sure is he's got the regular guy vibe going on very strong. And that means a lot. It means almost everything. You're a normal, regular person and you're just trying your best, and sometimes you make mistakes and you can say things better or different or whatever. That's just kind of the spirit of the guy. Is just normal guy. He loves his country. He's served his country and he wants to protect it even now, even though, there are bad, evil people trying to stop things from getting out and saying, coming against him and against other people who are trying to speak out. So that's not good. But still, at the end of the day, he feels patriotic and a sense of protection around the security of the nation. That's what he signed up for. That's what he's committed to. So he will not be breaking his NDAs, unfortunately. Things like that. And so that's where he's coming from. Anyway, so I appreciate him for sure. And it's I didn't get to, the line was too long. I wasn't going to stay and ask him about the tattoo that I wanted to potentially get on myself. That's in his book. If you read it, you know what I'm talking about. And then there was this other issue that somebody did touch on and really didn't get an answer about, which is this potential. There's this, I don't know what you would call it because it's inside government hallways. So I don't know if you'd call it a rumor, speculation, informed opinion, or intelligence. I don't know what you'd call it, but there is talk, and people who have come out of the government now who are retired, former CIA person especially, has come and flat out said that there is a date of a major event, some type of major event coming in by around 2027. Some people have different dates on that, but whatever it is, I was going to ask if that thought or that idea or that intelligence had to do with the name of his book called Imminent. Because 3 years from now really isn't, strictly speaking, imminent, but the idea that it could be at any time, or something the conversation, the world, the reality that you're in is going to change in a big way soon. I think that's the point of why he calls the book that. And that type of whatever that event might be would possibly, advance that or refer to that. Anyway, so I didn't get to ask him that. But at the very end, he was saying there's something that no one's ever seen before, and he showed it on the screen, and apparently it wasn't a great example, because it was an alleged UFO picture in Romania, but apparently it's been debunked, like it's not real, or it's an effect of something else, and whatever. So when I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's pretty wild. I mean, it looks way different usually than you would think. It's very large and has looked like it was light coming down from the bottom. And somebody says, well, that was a chandelier, some kind of reflection or weird, camera trick or something. And that's the explanation. So whatever, I believe, whatever, that's fine. I don't need that. I don't need pictures from Europe to tell me anything. I look how our leaders and our military and our intelligence organizations behave, and I look at paper trails, and I look at what's happened in my life. Nobody can say anything about that. If I saw, if I witnessed a floating orb, metallic one, not a colored one, although it was daytime, so who knows how that works, which I did in June, above the highway I was traveling, stayed there for about half a minute and then disappeared. I didn't see it go anywhere. I didn't see it fly. It just was there, and then it wasn't. So no one can tell me that didn't happen, or that was not real, or that was some type of a drone that you'd get at Walmart, for example, right? So you take all those things into account, and you look at real history. Sometimes it's covered up. Sometimes it's embarrassing, or things are illegally done where actual events aren't told, and your history is incomplete, at least, if not interstellar. Can you confirm that chandelier photo was towards the end of the? Yes, it was. Yeah. If I didn't mention that, that's correct. Yep. Thank you, Interstellar. It's a movie that everyone seems to like, right? I didn't love it, but anyways, yeah. So that's what it was. Okay, he owned up to it right away. He's on Twitter X right now, yesterday or whatever, and said, "Hey, just want to put it out there that I guess I made a mistake because I was given this and they said it was legit, but apparently it's not." So he's owning up to it, and that's that. And you would think that's no longer going to be presented in any more stops that he makes around the country or around the world. So I look at it like, well, I got a collector's edition, or a special limited edition, once in a lifetime thing where it only happened where I was that one time, which is neat. Anyways. But there was some good info there, and some in the Q&A time I thought was very good. I would have liked the whole thing to be like that, only to get the pulse of the people and what the people can do, because he's done what he's done. He's served. He's out of government now. He's trying to do his best to educate or enlighten or get the message out there about what's really going on as far as he understands. But he's only one person. And I do not want to fall into this stupid celebrity trap, right? Of personalities, or I'm a fan of this guy, or I'm a hater of this guy, and all of a sudden it's just like every other mistaken pursuit of human beings, glorifying or deifying or hero worship, whether that be in the church or in sports or in this stuff or whatever. It's really bad. It's a waste of time, and it's futile. And so I'm not going to get into all that. Or politics, same thing. Oh, with this team, I hate that team. Get out. You're not really using your brains, are you, when we think like that? But anyway, so I just take it for what it's worth, and that was that. Now, what's important to me, and what was important, I think, to the folks who were going to these presentations, those who already know who Lou is and read the book and so forth, is what do we do now? We personally, I don't want you to say, what do you do now, Lou Elizondo? What do you do now, President so-and-so? Or what are you doing now, Tim Burchett or George Knapp or whatever. Whoever you guys are, you trust. But what am I going to do? What's my response? Is this like a TV show? Is this like a movie I'm just watching? I'm consuming, get some more snacks in here. The show's starting. I don't do anything but sit around and observe. No. There's a calling happening. All right. Like, I don't care what your religious point of view is or whatever, but I think the Lord is calling me into this. I think he's calling you if you're here. He wants you to know him first, but then he has also created you in a certain way with certain brains and intelligence and talents and things that excite you, right? Like mentally or whatever, even if it's negative. Maybe things have happened to you, like traumatic things. All that is part of what you do now, right? And what is your part? It's not somebody else's part to play, and you just watch other people's parts. What's your part? You have abilities to, again, talents, time, money, whatever it is, expertise in a certain thing. You can contribute and help in a group, large or small, in your community. You can, again, even if it's just as simple as, hey, I'm going to call my senator, my congressman. Hey, my name is Christopher Mayatide. I'm in your district. I'm in your state, and I want to let you know this is important to me, and I want to, have a convo about it and let you know that, whatever. That's pretty easy. Or get together with people in your whatever. So that's what the Citizens for Disclosure thing is, and that's why I'm still involved in it. Okay, it's not about personality. It's not about Danny Sheehan, or he founded the umbrella organization, that CFD and New Paradigm Institute, all that stuff that came from Danny Sheehan's work. But it's not about him. It's not about anybody there. It's not about any particular opinions of the people who are there. Even if you saw that Global Disclosure Day, maybe you saw some things that, like, I don't agree with that. They're not, they're not taking all the angles that I would like to see or whatever. Fine. Right? Okay. You're a citizen, aren't you? Even if you're not American, if you're in another country, you have things to do. You can get involved. All right. So anyway, the most effective, this is just going back to my past in business, right? In the business world, communications companies, facilitating communication between different departments and people. That's what I've always been able to do well. And then when I got into the political realm, in 2008, 10, and 12, those three elections especially, was very, very heavily involved as organizationally and leading a campaign and being on presidential level campaigns and all that stuff. But it's really the same kind of work, and the organization of that type of getting the regular people to know that they can do something, that they can get together and make a difference. And this is a little different than that. Obviously, one thing is focused on a result called, an election, and then the whole thing happens again. This disclosure thing is just tell me the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth about my world and about who is here and about what is going on, about what we have and about what we know. And don't lie to me and say it's state secrets and it's all about the Russians or the Chinese. We know you're lying. So stop lying. even to yourself. Maybe you think that these are just Chinese drones at Langley Air Force Base. Well, it is Air Force, a whole bunch of bases together, joint base, yada, yada. Anyway, anywhere, Malmstrom, like, these are not Chinese drones. And you have to stop lying to yourself. If you think that, who is here? What do they have? What is the real situation? Is it a threat or not? It seems threatening. Ask somebody who's been abducted. Right? It's a threat. But the point is, there's more. There's a lot more that's going to be revealed, and I think the truth of the matter, even if we don't know it all, tell me what you do know, so we can try to piece this together and not be in darkness. Because the work of the church, Christians are supposed to be exposing the works of darkness. That means don't keep it hidden. Everything's going to be exposed. That's the goal. That's disclosure. Okay. Disclosure means tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, versus non-disclosure, NDAs. I agree not to disclose what I know. Bull. All right. Time for that is over. All right. Anyways, so I want to encourage you and to let you know that, yes, I'm still a part of this if you care, but I'm going to use the talents and the time that I can. I can't do it full time, but when I can, I will assist. And whether it be, bring people together locally. Yes, I said, okay, I live in the Philadelphia region, so I'll help to organize people who are in this region, which means, South Pennsylvania, Delaware, South Jersey, this whole area. Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll help gather the folks and see what we can do together there. Okay. That's Citizens for Disclosure. So if you're a citizen and you care about it, then do something. Don't just sit around. Don't complain. Like we said last week, I think the last podcast was stop complaining. Anyway, so it's still happening. Yes, I'm still involved. Yes, if you do go to the Citizens for Disclosure, just type that phrase into your search engine, and it'll come up with the New Paradigm Institute, Citizens for Disclosure. There's a form you fill out. Depending on where you live, you'll be contacted and said, okay, so-and-so is your contact. You'll be added to a private group in WhatsApp. If you ever use that on your phone or computer, it's a chat program, right? Listen to me, app. And then you'll go from there. And if you're in my region, then you'll hear from me. And we're going to proceed. In November 13th is seems like a major part of what's going to be happening going forward. So we'll see. Be there for that if you can. I will meet you there, and we'll chat and whatever else. And yes, I'm open to if anyone wants to buy me lunch or drink during that time. I'm there. I'm totally for that. Okay. Right. All right. So what's got you folks animated here? Interstellar asked the question. Yes. Von Soren says, I've been basically ignored, contacting my reps. Thanks for your input. Yeah, like the form letter, like a reply, an email reply. Yeah, you have to call them. Or request a meeting. You have to request a meeting. Then they handle it differently. Again, if you're their constituent, yeah, your representative. That's important, because if you try to reach out to some other state or even another district in your state that you don't live in, you're probably not going to get far. She did call, Christopher. Very good. Yeah, so I find the best is to request a meeting with the senator or the congressperson themselves. And this is one of the key points that I am going to write about more, and I'm going to speak on more. It says an awful lot of Christians are convinced they are demonic. They being what? UFOs. Not open to other thinking until we know for sure. In other words, they are not open to other thinking. Well, they've already, like I said before, I mean, you're right. Yeah, definitely you're right. That is the prevailing opinion. especially when we say Christians, a lot of times we are only thinking of Christians that believe like we do, because there's 2 billion Christians, and most of them don't agree with our point of view, with our eschatology, with our view of Israel, maybe even the UFO issue. Because if, let's say, for example, the Catholic Church, which has a whole bunch of members, they're very open and do not say that they're demonic in a blanket way. They know, yes, they admit there's demons and there's exorcisms and all that stuff, but the UFO issue may not be that. And the official position of that church is, if there is extraterrestrial life, if that's what this is about, we're fine with that. God created them too, and let's just be nice to them, basically. So, but you're right. Okay, in the evangelical world, which is the little box that we're in, they're not open to other thinking. Well, they're not. Yeah, that's why I said when you rock the boat of someone's worldview, they're gonna the knee jerk reaction is usually can't be true. That's not right. I'm not going to tell you name names or whatever, and it's nobody here. But a good example of this is, I believe there's a famous video, bunch of videos and photos from a couple of years ago, not a long time ago, like 5 or 10 years ago now, from Turkey. Where there's like a very clear airborne craft, and is a close-up of maybe even the pilot or pilots of the craft. And so it's striking, okay? And I think it was that, or maybe something else, but it was in Turkey for sure, okay? Turkey. And I've been teaching about Turkey from a Bible point of view for a long time, and how important it is, and how God has plans for that place. Even in a negative way, we should be expecting that nation to rise up and become, not just yet, to become very powerful, influential, and to spearhead many of these prophetic things that the Bible talks about before Jesus comes back. So it is very important. But there's also UFO activity there, like everywhere else. But there's some activity there, and there's videos from there. And this was a while last year, I think, or maybe several months ago. I like I always do. If you follow me on X, Manti4 on X, I share a lot of stuff. And it was a Christian person, an acquaintance. I mean, I know them a little bit, not in real life, but we've talked. And another story and stuff. And the reaction was only, oh, I see the demons are manifesting because it's in Turkey. Or something like that. Like, what? What are you talking about? Well, I don't get that. Look, I know there's demons. I know spiritual warfare is a real thing. I know exorcism is real. Okay, I don't have any really dramatic stories about it personally, but I know I've been involved in it. Okay, I know. Casting out demons and devils, that's part of the job, especially if you're in any type of call to be a pastor or something like that, a leader, shepherd of other people. Then this kind of responsibility falls on you. Anyway, I know it's real. That thing is real, but seeing something flying in the sky is not a demon. I mean, it's a very easy Bible lesson. Like, how do you get there? Anyway, but you're right. That was a long way of saying, yes, an awful lot of Christians do just say that, convinced, not just think it, not just, well, I'm not sure, but maybe, possibly, probably this is the answer. No, they're convinced. And if you come at them to say what I just said, basically, like, you don't know what you're talking about, they respond very badly. And now all of a sudden, I'm the bad guy for pointing it out. Their ignorance on the topic. All right. I don't have discernment. That's another one I've heard a few times. I don't have discernment because I don't think UFOs are all demonic, for example. And it runs the gambit. Okay, there's the other side of things that hates Christianity or thinks I'm a fool for even believing in Jesus and resurrection and all that stuff, and yet so I've got to be Collins elite or something when I get to the UFO circles. Like I get it. Okay, it's very frustrating actually. When I read Dr. Heiser's stuff, when I read Dr. Heiser, this is Dr. Heiser, who has passed away by now several years ago, but he wrote a whole year or two ago. But he wrote a whole bunch of stuff on this topic, and he was unashamedly a fan. He went to UFO conventions and stuff as a Christian Bible teacher. When I read Dr. Heiser's stuff, believe it or not, there was a shift in my thinking on UAPs, etc. I started looking further, then met you, and relieved someone was addressing this. Well, praise God. Michael Heiser, right? Yeah, I don't want to say put any type of like mantle or scepter, like anything like that. Because he's a giant. He was an intellectual giant. He's much smarter. Ancient languages, like he knew what he was talking about in this area, right? He was very, very intelligent and wrote awesome materials, scholarly stuff. I believe he contributed also to the LEB Bible translation. Lexham English Bible. It's pretty fantastic, actually. Anyway, so I don't want to say I'm like carrying the torch or whatever, but I feel kind of like I am. People like me. Hopefully there's more. But to say, yes, I'm a believer. I'm a Christian. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to change my Christianity over this. But also, there's something else that the church is really missing about this. And you take a step back and like, well, that's exactly what the church usually does, which is miss it. We don't have Israel right generally. We don't have prophecy right. We don't have almost everything Jesus talks about. We got it screwed up. Our scripture knowledge is terrible on a whole. Just read the thing, right? And pray. You can't pray enough even. Like, what's that? So anyway, yeah, the major issues or the weird parts of the Bible, we hate that stuff. Today, modern Christianity does not like it. Doesn't want to deal with it. That's why I think it's like, oh, it's demons. I'm out. Like next. Anyway, we get stuff wrong all the time. So Heiser was willing to say that. We got to think about this more. Like, hang on a second, Anyways. Madam Rex says, rocking the boat of someone's worldview properly is practically an art form. Well, you're better at it than me, perhaps. Or the art form, my kind of art is like when I drum, right? Just go full on all the time, no subtlety, right? But yeah, I mean, yes, we have to do. I mean, that's what Christianity is about, right? It's the most worldview rocking thing that. Wait a minute, someone else, God became a human being, and he died for my sins. He got tortured for things that I'm doing now, and that he actually is alive still. He really died, and now he's really alive, and he's offering to forget everything I ever did wrong. He just asks to believe and follow him, and be obedient as you walk with him. Wow, that's pretty. Oh, and by the way, yeah, these angels thing is true. The demons thing is true. God created the world is true. He's your dad. Okay, he's your father. And the Holy Spirit. Don't get me started. How weird that is. We should be embracing this stuff. Like, we are the weirdo, things that no one can believe is true. That's me. I mean, that's us. And just it reminds me of part of the Lou Elizondo presentation this week was going through a little bit of history as far as science, as far as discoveries, as far as humans discovering the world as it is, because that statement changes on a regular basis. Right? We didn't even know. Not too long ago, we were bleeding people out with leeches because we thought that cured diseases. You died of diarrhea not long ago. Okay? Right? And that's because we didn't understand microbes, microorganisms. We didn't know until 100 years ago that such things are real. 200 years maybe, right? That's it. So, or space travel? That's insanity. There's no way. Even as the Wright brothers were discovering flight and people thinking about going beyond the, to the beyond the atmosphere to the moon or something like, in that, those kind of thoughts, scientists, the smart guys were saying, we will never, ever go to space ever. It's not possible. We don't have the technology. We don't have the answers to the physics to it. We're never going to figure out. It's impossible. Scientists said that. And religious leaders said that. There's a dome over the earth. We can't go out there. They said the earth is man's, but the heavens are the Lord's, so he's never going to allow us to go. We're wrong all the time. Bond servant, he was logical about it. Michael Heiser made sense to consider things. Yes, to people like us, bond servant, logic makes an impact. Right? It makes you reconsider things. I agree. Metalhead honest. Yep. It's me. I'm not better at it, just different modus operandi, mode of operation. Your way reaches personality types that my way does not, and vice versa. That is true. And I guess that's why we're a good research team partners or whatever. Yeah, you're right about that. Great. But yeah, it needs to be, people need to be reached, sure. And to have that choice to say, hey, you know what? So what's going on? And it's bigger than I thought it was. And maybe it's not Antichrist activity. Maybe God has something in it for us. Just talking from a believer's point of view. But anyway, to shake someone's worldview up, yeah, it's tough, and most folks don't respond well. Try baking something. Totally disarms folk. Well, yeah, if they're in my house, or right down the street, sure. Even though not big on baking, but I have done it. But yeah, you're the expert baking around here for sure. The official baker of the Wings of the Eagle podcasts and the End Time Church. Okay. Any other questions, comments, suggestions, or whatever? So just to summarize here, I don't have a lot more to say, but we're in the midst of, again, a very busy couple of weeks where, less than 2 weeks ago, we had this Global Disclosure Day with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views by now. Not on the Eagles video, but there was a bunch. There's a bunch for what we do. Between that and my personal appeals and Elizondo visits and this being involved with Citizens for Disclosure, and then what's coming up on November 5th as an election, and then the 13th, which is apparently an unmovable date, with Nancy Mace chairing the hearing, and it will be a public hearing, but you probably won't get in the room. But if you want to meet up, if you want to be there, I got my ticket, my Amtrak. So I'll be there, and we'll see what comes of it. I have a feeling, my gut tells me it's a big deal, and it'll be a pretty historic time, and maybe ongoing right from there. Who knows? Prayerfully, hopefully, there'll be peace in Washington, D.C. The election stuff will have blown over, or whatever. We've moved on, and it's over, and no one's fighting about it in the streets. Then it'll be safe to go and do this. So, anyways, if you're a praying person, pray for peace, and that we would have the opportunity to really have the historical moment that we deserve. I will say that the disclosure thing being quite a bit of the paranormal, I will say that disclosure thing, quite a bit of the paranormal beliefs, know what I'm saying? Maybe I don't. Could you rephrase, my friend? So... Oh, okay. Wait, I think I know what you mean. The Global Disclosure Day, that live stream event from last Sunday, had a bit of other beliefs and other belief systems, and yeah, definitely, if that's what you mean. Yes, to the point where I even made a point during it to recognize and realize that you're going to hear a lot of non-Christian things and other points of view that you probably don't agree with or don't understand or think is crazy. Yeah, or in Bondservant's way of saying paranormal inclination. That was, by the way, I know what you're saying exactly. And what I said at that time was, don't worry about it. Okay. If we just forget about it, just gloss over it. Look, we're all in this together. You don't have to subscribe to different beliefs or whatever. I get it. You don't. This is not that. This is where it's going to affect you just as much as a non-believer, just as much as someone who believes something completely opposite as you. It's all gonna come, and we're all gonna be in the boat together. So just operate on that level. But it's funny that you say paranormal, because this is one of the things Lou Elizondo said in his presentation on Monday. Was the word paranormal is actually not a weird word at all. It depends. Well, it's two words put together, right? We know what normal means, or normalized, or what's actually true. And para, well, it depends how you use it, right? Parachute, paragraph, paramedic, right? They come alongside. It's like, it's not, you're not a medic, but you're paramedic. Right? It's not a chute, it's a parachute. So it's like, well, it depends how you use it. It doesn't mean it's not true. It just means you don't think it's normal yet. Like an iPhone and what it can do. If you told someone 50 years ago, if I was in my, I don't know, it was 1950 right now, and I told someone that this is a thing, and then it's going to be able to do all this stuff, and the amount in my palm of my hand is more powerful and has more ability to remember data than every computer in the world combined at that time in here. and I can chat, I can vote, I can see someone's face literally in China right now and talk to them real time. That was paranormal. What are you talking? Wi-Fi? Try explaining Wi-Fi to someone. It seems very paranormal in a way. Wi-Fi? What do you mean through the air? The digital signals? Like, what do you mean audio and video can go through invisible, travel through the walls and reach a device? Like, what is that? Right. Anyway, so just that term, all that means is we haven't accepted it. Sometimes we haven't accepted it as a broad reality yet, but it doesn't mean it's not real right now. I just want the deets on this craft, etc. Yeah, I hear you. A lot of people just say the same thing. Give me give me dick pictures. Give me craft. Well, maybe it's one. Maybe it's a lot more than that. Supernatural and paranormal are akin to each other. Yeah, basically. Yeah, something is supernatural. Well, technically, supernatural would be above nature or something that shouldn't be possible. But then there's preternatural. That's kind of like it's always real and it is part of nature. We just don't experience it. We don't perceive it in our day-to-day life. Yeah. Anyway, very good point. Bri, hey, what's up? Says, talking to someone in Google Chat, she asks, so sure, but how can you prove that an alien is not a fallen angel or a demon? There's like 20 assumptions in that question. Isn't there? There is. Prove what? First of all, I'm not convinced, and many people are not, that this UFO phenomenon is from alien life. In other words, an organism, a life form, a person, a thing from another planet or another part of the universe, another galaxy or something, like a typical, easy to understand phenomena, which is just, oh yeah, they're visitors from far away, from another planet. And that's what this is. I don't think that's a full explanation at all. So I don't know if there is such a thing as an alien. I don't. How do you prove? Well, demons aren't physical beings. It's easy to prove what's a demon and what's not. A demon is immaterial. It's a spirit. A demon is a spirit. All we know about demons is they used to be a person called a Nephilim. And yes, this is putting some extra in from Enoch, okay, but it totally comports with what Jesus said about this. They used to be in a person, and all they do currently is search the earth. They're in Sheol. They're in the dead place. They're in the place of the dead, not in outer space. Under the earth, maybe. But they're just spirits. You can't see them. You can't smell them. You can't hear them. All they want to do is possess a person. They want to get inside a human being. They don't have a body of their own. So if you have an alien body, let's say, you can know 1000% sure it is not a demon. It's a physical body. Demons are not physical beings anymore. They're spirits. A fallen angel, I don't know what a fallen angel looks like. I don't know what they're composed of. I know you can't see them right now. How do you know they're fallen? We know that Revelation 12, that it's a 2-to-1 ratio of angels that are not fallen angels versus the only thing that makes them fallen is that they follow Satan. They have a different boss. They chose to go to war with God and oppose him. That's what makes them fallen. It doesn't mean they're on the ground, right? They're all in heaven. All of them. However many there are. And we know that Revelation tells us there are legions on legions and hundreds of thousands, hundreds of millions of angels. So cut that number, whatever it is, in a third. You know what I mean? Like, and then still you've got double that are not fallen angels. So I don't know what they look like. I don't know what their capabilities are. I don't think they can leave heaven. I think they tried that once and they can't do it no more. God locked them up, the ones who did it. Literally, they can't go anywhere. Those guys are in jail. Until the very, very end. You want to say, oh, the sixth trumpet. Okay, the sixth trumpet. We're not there yet. Anyways, it's just a lot of assumptions about that. Yeah, thank you. Wait till the video is done, then I'll circle what you answered her question so she can go right to it. Awesome. Thanks, brother. Brian's a treasure, man. He really is. He's seeking out other people come to him, or he seeks them out and asks things, and he's like, hey, Pastor, what do you think of this? You are a treasure, my friend. And hopefully we can reach folks that way. Yeah. Here's not a thought, perhaps. That's a good way to start. We believe the universe, the earth, etc., was created at the same time. So my question then is, how did some civilization become so advanced to send ships here? Just playing the devil's advocate. And I'm not saying I believe this. But when all Genesis says is God created in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was void. What happened there? He didn't create it that way. Did he? So there's an argument to be made that even in that Genesis 1:1 to 1:2, there might be a huge amount of time just to play the devil's advocate there. Okay. It's possible that the universe, whatever that means, everything that exists was created a long time ago, and the days of God making vegetation and the water leave and the dry land come up and the animals and human beings. It's possible that all that happened way after he created everything else. Well, if I have a blob of clay intending to make a pot, that blob is void. I don't know what makes me think. Well, it's an Isaiah that has the same, or no, Jeremiah, the same exact Hebrew phrase of void and without form in English. In Jeremiah, I believe it is, he says specifically, I did not create the earth void and without form. It seems like it became that way. Something happened. Even to the point where, okay, well, it says waters covered everything. Well, then it wasn't nothing. I mean, there was water there, and there was land under the water, right? Or there was crust or dirt, whatever, something was under, and then he cleared some of the, he says he gathered the water into together, and then the land was exposed then. So to me, there's a lot more being said than just that. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying, like, just to be an advocate about, think about a little further, is it's possible. I don't subscribe to it. I'm not going to teach it as the truth because I don't think it is. Evolution generally, I don't think is true. I don't think that's true at all in any species. But devil's advocate is, yeah, well, maybe God created the universe itself was, and Earth was created then, but then something happened where now he's going to make human beings on the earth way after that. So it's possible that, yes, there could be other forms of life that were placed by God on another planet or another star system or whatever, another dimension. I don't know. And they either grew to acquire that level of technology, or maybe they were created that way. Right. And she says, dang, I have a lot of questions when we get to sit down with Jesus. You and me both. All right. You and me both. But good thing is we will get to, and it says we get to ask, or the Father will just answer everything. We get to do whatever we're confused about. Right. But anyway, I'm not here to, confuse anybody for sure. I'm just saying assumptions, even though we think it's in the Bible, doesn't mean that it is. That's the point. Right? Because, four corners of the earth means the earth is flat. No, it doesn't. Like that. That's what I mean. Right? Doesn't Heiser, or if I remember right, discuss a pre-earth thing? I don't recall at the moment. Sorry. I don't know. Okay. That's enough for now, folks. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing, which I know you did. If you didn't, please do it now. Much appreciated, especially on YouTube. That can go very, very far. But anywhere that you can would be great. Thanks to Brian Bondservant and Madam Rex and Interstellar and Moku. Just right. Hey, just join now, brother. I am so sorry. We are signing off. Just now. We've been at it for over an hour. So my apologies to you, but feel free to leave a question here. We'll get it. I'll try to address it. Until next time, this is Christopher Manti for the Unsealed Podcast, the official podcast of Wings of the Eagle. If you love what we do, if you think this is worth supporting, if you think Christians being involved in this topic is worthwhile, and it is, then it's worth you supporting it financially. Yes, I'm asking for financial help because that's how we roll. It's the only way it works. There's no other support. It's just you. So go to wingsoftheeagle.com/donate, or if you want to do Patreon, we got that as well. Patreon.com/wingsoftheeagle. All right, friends, until next time, maybe sooner than you think. This is Wings of the Eagle. Bye.